Hey man, are you really killing it as an audio engineer? And I mean killing it in the worst way, not the best way. It's all good though. I'm about to run down my top 8 audio engineer mistakes. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Wavy Wayne from Wavy.wav. And today, man, I got a special video for y'all. But before I get off into my top 8 audio engineer mistakes, I want to make sure that y'all share this with an engineer that you know to make sure that they ain't making these mistakes too. If you're new to the channel, also hit a subscribe yourself and just know that this channel is all about helping you to record and mix better and faster. Now, let's get off into the business that we came for. This is gonna hurt a lot of y'all feelings because I know y'all just love gear. Y'all some gear sluts, ain't you? You just some gear sluts. Y'all love gear. You'll do whatever for gear. Y'all out here just name brand this, name brand that. I got a Neumann this. I got a Nike that. I got the UAD this. I got the PreSonus that. Listen, man. The first mistake that I see a lot of y'all doing is just buying gear just for the name on it. Yes, some companies out here have great names and great reputations, but that don't mean that every piece of gear in their lineup is something that you need. I get asked about microphones all the time that you've already bought. Like, yo, I got this XYZ microphone. And I'm like, man, you didn't went out and spent thousands of dollars on a mic that you can literally have gotten a much better sound for a whole lot less. So for everybody out there, I'm telling you, do not buy gear just because it has some famous name on it or because you've seen somebody else using it. Buy gear because it helps you to solve a problem in your studio. Buy gear because you've heard it somewhere being used and you like how it sounds and you want to impart that sound. And then also remember that just because you have the same gear as everybody else doesn't mean you're going to get the same results. And if you do get the same results, is that even a good result? Don't you want to be unique? Don't you want to create your own sound? How can you have a sound if you have the same things that everybody else has? Stop buying gear for the name, step out on a limb and try something new and just use your ears when it comes to picking gear. One of the next mistakes that I can hear when I'm mixing people's records is that the rooms that y'all recording in are not properly treated. It takes a little bit of time and a little bit of money to go ahead and get your room properly acoustically treated. Make sure you dive into learning about acoustic treatments in your room. So a good rule of thumb is that the amount of money that you spend on your studio monitors, you should spend an equal amount of money at least on treating the room that you're going to play them in. That's one of the biggest things that can stop y'all from having to do so many car tests, from having to do so much guesswork in the studio. If you can actually hear and monitor what's coming out of those monitors and how it's interacting with your room, and your room is giving you an accurate feedback to how the music should sound, you can get much better mixes, much better recordings that way, right? Treat your room, eliminate all these reflections and echoes and all this stuff that's happening in your room that's getting into the microphone that you don't want, right? Also, pick a microphone that complements a less than perfectly treated room. I got a couple examples of those, like a SM7B, and I'm also on one right now, a LS208. Those are great choices if you don't have the best room. So a lot of y'all would go out and buy a C800 just because you got the money, and then you put it in a garage and it sounds like trash, all right? Keep that in mind. On another tip, since I was thinking about, the room treatments and all that, another mistake that I hear is that there's just too much headphone bleed in y'all recordings. Now, as an artist, I know artists like to have their headphones up blasting and loud, especially the hip hop world. We love to have our headphones blasting and loud. There's a way, though, that we can minimize how much of that sound escapes from the headphones and makes it into the mic. And that's by using closed back isolating headphones, kind of like the Wavy One headphones. Now, I know you're going to be like, yo, Wavy, this sounds like a plug for your headphones. Because it is, man. But you know one thing? I am not going to steer you wrong. Ooh, look at the details. Look at the details. Let me get my... Oh, wavy, okay? These headphones actually attenuate 33.4 dB of sound from coming into the headphones and 33.4 dB of sound from leaving and escaping the headphones. That's going to significantly minimize the bleed leaving from these headphones getting into the microphone, which is going to in turn get you a cleaner recording and make your mixing process a whole lot easier. Go to wavywayne.com right now and pick you up a pair of Wavy One Studio headphones. Another one of my top 8 audio engineer mistakes includes failure to communicate. You have to talk with the artist. You have to talk with the producer. Whoever song it is and project that you're working on as an audio engineer, they should have a vision for where they want to take it, right? Once you have those files and you have the project, don't just get off into your bubble and feel like, oh, I'm going to do what I want to do. It's their song. It's their project. It's their baby. And yes, you're working on it as a professional. So there should be some guidance from you, but you have to be open to taking creative input and advice from the artists and producers. A lot of time, they will help you to actually push the record and forward in new ways that you might have never even thought of. So be open and receptive and communicate with the artist. Get feedback often. One technique that I like to employ in this area is to, especially when I'm working remotely for mixing clients, is to quickly get their feedback on a mix and let them know, hey, this is my first proof. This is where I like it. This is where I think it sounds great. But I want your feedback. I want your input. And then so they'll say, hey, I like this too. Maybe we got too much auto-tune or too much reverb. And then so I can go back in the mix and make those adjustments for them. Now, of course, I don't want to let the client do anything that's going to damage the mix as I would think it. But again, the creative aspect of the mix is largely the client's responsibility. The producer, the artist, that's their responsibility to drive the creativity in the mix. It's my responsibility for the technical aspects of the mix. Don't forget what your job is. And also that we are in a service industry. We have to be open and receptive to serving our clients. And following up right behind that mistake of not communicating is just being too creative. I learned this early on in my career when I was working in New York City for some of the most grisliest gangster rappers there was. I would be trying out all kind of pop style techniques, stutter effects, like, distortion and all of that. And they didn't want none of that. They just wanted good, clean, punchy vocals, right? They wanted the kick in the 808 to be punching and clean. Not too much effects, not doing too much, just some good, clean recording. And sometimes less is more. Right? Remember that, back to the other point, it's our job to do that technical aspect and to give the client what they want. Don't get too creative. Sometimes that can really scare the client away. But if you do choose to get creative, a great way to preface your creativity is say, hey, I have a horrible idea. I'm going to let you listen to it. If you don't like it, no problem. We can easily get rid of it. Versus you just saying, hey, this is what I think is dope. Listen to it. Like, if you don't like it, then screw you. That's not going to get you very far. But if you let them know, hey, this idea might suck, but I just want to try it, then maybe you can get away with being a little bit more creative. And if they hate it, they won't be too mad because you already told them that you can get rid of it at any time. Let's keep going on my top 8 audio engineers' mistakes. And this next one is going to be failure to network. Networking. What does that even mean? That means talking to people? Wait, I'm an audio engineer. Ain't no way I'm talking to people, man. How you want me to talk to somebody? I can't even talk to myself. Nah, for real though, you got to get out. You got to talk with artists. This is how you're going to build your clientele as well. It's by talking to people, collaborating with other audio engineers. You can learn more by talking with other engineers, building a network instead of just feeling like you were just on this lone island. That's definitely not how it works. Networking with people will help to bring you more opportunities, more knowledge, and that is overall going to increase your career and boost your career a whole lot faster than you just trying to do everything on your own. Network, if there's any networking events, any professional societies that you can join, any online communities that you can join, or events that are happening around, go to those, join those events, join those communities, network with people, talk with people, have a community of audio engineers that you can talk to on a regular basis, because iron sharpens iron. So we have to network with people in our field. We have to reach out and talk with artists to get more clients and get booked more. All right. Networking is going to be huge for us. Another mistake I see y'all doing, or not doing, I should say, is not practicing enough. A lot of y'all don't spend time just mixing for fun. A lot of y'all just only mix a song when it comes to mixing for a client, right? You want to wait to do a mix until you're getting paid. How about you find some practice sessions? How about you just do some free stuff, right? You record yourself, find some sessions online. Or if you're a member of the Wavy Seals Elite, you know that we have a whole catalog of practice sessions for you that you can practice on, 2-track sessions, multi-track sessions, all genres, and then even getting practice on mixing outside of the genre that you are comfortable in will help you and bring more creativity into the genre that you primarily work in. Practicing is key. Right? You have to be able to do this and do it. The more you do it, the better you will get. It's just like swimming. You can't read a book and learn how to swim. You got to jump in the water in order to learn how to swim, y'all. So practice, practice, practice. And every time that you do a mix, every time you complete a mix and get feedback from the client and revise that mix and then take another stab at it, you're going to get better. Your skills are going to grow. Keep on practicing and practice on stuff that you're not getting paid for. Just find some audio files and start practicing. I'm glad y'all made it to this last part of the video. Remember, I have a great community for audio engineers and producers that help us avoid all of these mistakes, man. I got one more for y'all, and that's mixing in solo. Think about this, man. I always tell my students this. If you're just going to bake a cake, you get all your ingredients. You got your kicks, your snares, your 808s, your guitars. For a cake, you got your eggs, your flour, you got your, what else you put in a cake? Sugar? All right, you tell I don't bake, right? So you got all your different ingredients. Now, when you go to bake a cake, you're not going to cook those eggs by themselves. You're not going to cook the sugar by itself. You're not going to cook the flour by itself. But what I see a lot of people doing and making a mistake is when they're mixing, they hit that solo button so much. And they start mixing in solo way too much. So you mix in solo, you spend 30 minutes tweaking the hell out that vocal, EQing it just right in solo, making sure that, it sounds perfect while it's solo. It really doesn't matter how that vocal sounds by itself as much as it matters how it sounds together, right? So stop mixing a solo so much. It's okay to solo temporarily to find little problems that you may have and really pinpoint them, but make sure that you are identifying and working with your mix as a whole, okay? We're mixing, so we need to bring all the ingredients together and then start to put that sauce on it, right? All the ingredients got to be together before we put the sauce on it. That's what mixing is. Otherwise, you're just processing individual tracks, which is fine if you're just going to play it in solo. If that's the final output that you want, then great. Make sure that vocal sounds great as an acapella. Otherwise, put it in the mix, make sure it works in the music. I'm Wavy Wayne from Wavy.com. If you found this video helpful, make sure you share it with someone so that they can learn too. And check out the website, Wavy.com, where you can get tools to help you record and mix better and faster. Y'all be dope.